Tunisia reflects a universal truth. One person who is not afraid to die can start a revolution, but it is only when hundreds and then thousands have lost their fear that a revolution becomes inevitable.
The world is still trying to understand exactly what the revolution here in Tunisia really represents. For the West, this was a liberal movement that achieved for the Arab world its own Ceausescu moment, the getting rid of a hated dictator and his family. For people in the region, this is proof positive that ordinary people can overthrow a regime. For Tunisians, the reality is far more complex.
Internet, Facebook, Twitter, they were logistic support. They were not the revolution.
This regime was like, it's like a cancer.
في الحقيقة احنا الشعب التونسي لم يتعود على سماع القصص.
I saw people dying. I saw a guy shot straight in his heart.
Ils disent leur fierté d'avoir vu notre peuple, notre jeunesse, les mains nues, affronter la dictature et mettre à terre le dictateur.
أي واحد شهيد مات الحق، حب يدافع على شعب، حب يدافع على تونس.
If there is one lesson for autocratic rulers across the world, it is not to ignore your subjects, however insignificant they might seem. There is a tragic symmetry to the story of this revolution. The most powerful man in the country brought down by one of the most powerless.
والله محمد ولدي معناها إنسان بسيط، إنسان معناها باهي، سلوكه طيبة، متعاطف معايا ومع خويانه، يخدم معناها في مورد رزق، أجل عاش يتيم، خلاه بابا عمره معناها 3 سنين.
Mohamed Bouazizi started selling fruit at the age of 10 to support his family, later giving up his own education to send his sisters to school and then university.
اللي يبقى الماضي ساعتين ماضي 3 متاع الصباح يروح يمشي يرقد من با ساعتين 3 سوايع زيد يفيق من جديد غدوة الصباح وديما يشجع فيا على قرايتي ديما يهز لي في المورال نتاعي ومورال العائلة الكل ديما يواسي فينا ديما يصبر فينا والحمد لله.
Mohamed Bouazizi was not the first young man to take his life in the country's impoverished and forgotten south. But the way he was treated by the local authorities on the 17th of December had a resonance for all Tunisians.
أنا الصباح نهار الجمعة الصباح مشيت نسعى نخدم معناها في الفلاحة البرة وطليت على البيت متاعه وهو نلقيه راقد نوم عميق قلت له والله يعاونك يا محمد ولادي.
يقوم الصباح كيما سيور الايام كيما الايام كل ايام يمشي يهز الشريول يعبي الخضره من المارشي سنترال ويمشي معناها يمشي يقص على الكيس الرئيسي معناها راهو ماهوش راهو تاجر متجول.
Mohamed had applied to the town hall for a license to allow him to set up a permanent store. When this went unanswered, he applied directly to the presidential office. There was again no reply. Instead, the regime took the little he had. On Friday, the 17th of December, Mohamed was stopped by a municipal officer and her 3 colleagues. She confiscated his fruit and the scales he borrowed from a friend. According to his sister, she insulted his dead father and ridiculed his lowly job and appearance before delivering a blow which was to echo around the world.
هو حب يحمي الميزان نتاعو ما خليتوش ضرباته بزوز كفوف كي ضرباته بزوز كفوف محمد جاته كالشوك محمد جاته شوك قويه صدمه قويه برشا لوين عينيه دمعت وزراق ضرباته بكفوف معناها مراه امام الخاص والعام في كياس رئيسي.
People in Sidi Bouzid were used to the demands of the police and local authorities. the traditional rashwa, or bribe, without which nothing and no one can operate. But Mohammed had no money to buy back the confiscated scales. 3 times he went to the town hall to plead for their return, and 3 times he was turned away. At 11:30 a.m., he came back for the last time.
خذا معناها واحدة متاع ليسونس وهز الشريول بقية اللي بقاله معناها من السلعة، هزها وحطها أمام مقر الولاية وجاب الليسونس صب على روحه، طلع على الشريول وصب على روحه كجبد البريكية.
The crowd drawn by Mohammed's protest included his cousin Ali, who arrived too late to stop the final act in the tragedy.
قام بالتوجه إلى وسط الطريق هنا وسكب على عينيه على نفسه البنزين وكان موجود هنا وأحرق نفسه هنا.
He'd come to petition the government here to ask for some help, but they didn't let him in, and he then went into the middle of the road, put benzene on himself and set himself alight.
ثم شكون نحى البلوزون تاعو وحاول باش يطفيه.
He was saying that I mean there were a few people around, and there was one man with a jacket who tried to put the flames out on Mohammed, but it was too late.
It's too late.
This is the scene filmed by Ali on his mobile phone moments after Mohammed set himself on fire. Even in these extreme circumstances, manifestations of public discontent in Tunisia were rare, and Ali understood instantly the power of the images he had filmed.
لأن نحن كنا واثقين إنه قبل نحتجوا ونضربوا من طرف عوان الأمن ويقع تفريقنا وما يسمعوناش، لكن بالإعلام هو يمكن إنك توصل أي حاجة.
Sidi Bouzid might be geographically isolated, but the internet had wired its residents to the world. At 6:47 p.m., Ali posted the video on his Facebook page.
ندركوا تماما نحن اللي يلزم الإعلام، يلزم نكسبوا الحرب الإعلامية، لأنه احتجاجنا إذا كان ما يخرج من تونس راه ما يسمع به حد. مثلا أنا دخلت شخصيا في قناة الجزيرة فردوا رد معناها في الحكومة، قالوا راهم هذوما مجموعة من المارقين.
As night fell, Mohammed Bouazizi's story and the images of the rioting that had followed passed into the data flow of social networking sites, and from there onto international satellite channels. On the 17th of December, however, there was no reason to think this would be anything more than just another largely anonymous chapter in Tunisia's recent history. After 23 years in power, President Ben Ali had become a master of state repression, adept at controlling the message and crushing dissent. This might not have been the dream of the generation who had won independence from France in 1956, but it was their legacy. In more than half a century since the French departed, only 2 men have ruled Tunisia, and neither contested an open election for the job.